Are they looking at this camera? Hello, I'm Sunny from Feel Great Meditate. Welcome to our show, a conscious living show where you're going to learn some meditation tools and techniques from myself, as well as gold medalist, Tai Chi, and Qigong expert, Lisa Kershaw.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. And then we also have some really special guests today. We have today Stephanie Elev8te, and she's a channeler, an intuitive coach, and she's helping many people online. And also has a book and does speaking, and she's here today. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you, Sunny.
And then we also have Danielle Alexander, who is a Feng Shui master, as well as a medical intuitive. Yes. So welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you both on.
Yes.
Thank you.
And we also have a special treat for everybody from Juice Buzz. So let's just show you what they brought us. This is Juice Buzz. They're down there in Del Rey, and they are amazing. This is called Roots, and they brought us some cold pressed fresh juice. This one has beets, carrots, apple, cucumber, lemon, and ginger.
5 ingredients. That's it. If you can't read what's in your food, you don't. It's not a good thing. This is cucumber, celery, coconut water, parsley, cilantro, lemon, and ginger.
Ooh, so we're going to pour that and have a little toast
This is like the
today.
red and the white wines of the juices.
Right?
And the people in the audience, all our lovely guests today in the live audience, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for those of you who are out there, you'll have to stop at Juice Buzz. But for you in the audience, you may also have a sample. Yes. So, some exciting news. I just want to tell you about some of these exciting things we've been doing. We've been so busy ever since the Elevate event, which was so awesome here at the Heart of Del Rey. And then we were at the full moon. You weren't there with your swords, but it was a magical time. Sarah was there. Sarah's in our audience. And I just had so much fun giving, and it was just awesome.
I felt the
nice
vibe
crowd of
from
people.
where I was.
Yeah, which is a great time to amplify our thoughts. And then Saturday we had this Boca Raton retreat, which was awesome.
And I couldn't be there. I've heard all about it.
It was on the water, and it was like so breathtaking. All these big yachts going by, and there will be another one, probably like January, so people can still sign up. But my favorite event, which I saw Stephanie at, was the 365 Samaritans Kindness Matters. And Laura Reese was on the show last week. And that was awesome. Couple hundred people. Danielle, you were there too.
I was.
Danielle was there. Everybody was there, and it was.
Hence the henna tattoo.
Ooh, the henna tattoo. Yes,
Nice.
it was a really good
Lovely.
time. Yes, music, DJ, the food. They had good vegetarian food and other food, and that was really cool. I got to go around with this little guy here, the crystal singing bowl, which we've had on other shows. And I always take this everywhere because it's so effective at immediately bringing the brain to the alpha level. And if I just do this to Lisa, and she closes her eyes and then focuses right up in that center brow spot, she can keep her mental gaze there and just breathe and allow all those sound waves to wash over her crown, over her left and right brain hemisphere. Yeah. So if you're sitting at home, you can just put your feet flat on the floor, sit up with a nice straight spine, and just allow yourself to deepen your awareness as you deepen your breathing. Yeah. And as you take in a little bit more oxygen with each breath, you're going to be recharging your brain. And when we recharge our brain, it brings balance to the brain, and then it brings balance to the body. So if you're doing this from home, take another deep, deep breath. Inhale through the nose, inflate the lungs. And then if you're sitting there at home or your office, just open your mouth and let out a big yeah, we'll just go right into a little meditation to get us all in alignment, come together as one. Take another deep inhale. And then say whenever you let out that exhale, we're letting go of tension. We're letting go of any stored lower vibes, those negative emotions. We can let go of the fears, the doubts, the worries. Let's take another deep, deep breath. Feel that pause, feel the lungs expand, relax the shoulders, and then open the mouth and say, yeah, letting go of what no longer serves you. Breathe it out. And as we start start the show, whether you're at home or at work, just keep the eyes closed for another second as you relax. And just think about this question. What do I want? What do I want? Yeah. Just see what comes to the surface. Maybe it's improved health, healing the mind, healing the body, healing your soul. Maybe it's inner peace. You want an increase of inner peace. And then turn that, what you want, into an intention. Because when we meditate, we always set an intention. We go within in our quiet, peaceful mind that we can get there through the breathing, and we set our intention. So be sure you don't say the word want, and you just proclaim it to the universe as if it's already happening, like, I am healthy, I am healing my body, whatever it is you desire. And then repeat that in your mind like a mantra, repeating that over and over again. I am healing myself, whatever it is. And what we want to do is to see that clearly in our mind's eye, see that on that big blank screen, like a big white screen, as you gaze up into that center brow spot. See it as it's already happening. And then we want to add that feeling in our hearts. How does it feel when you think about that? Do they come into alignment, or is there some false limiting belief or feeling that doesn't match the thought? And as we exhale, we want to let go of any doubts, any worries. Yeah, and just bring that vibration of the heart, that feeling of love and belief. Allow that to match the thought. We want to bring that into equal vibration. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How's everybody feel?
Fabulous.
Amazing. It's just amazing when that sound resonates at the crown of my head in this instant. The committee in the mind stops. It just goes, and what you experience, it's hard to almost to put words to it. We'll have to just experience it, but it tunes the sound and the mind just connect.
Yeah.
There is no thought. There isn't even a good intention. It's just, wow, just one sound and mind.
And it's really an effortless meditation. So you might notice if you're in the audience or sitting here or at home that it's an effortless meditation.
It
so
is.
whether we're using the gong to produce an external sound vibrational current, or even an internal one where we chant a sound, where we use the sound waves over the brain, it just instantly brings us to the alpha level, which means we're very relaxed. We slow down the brain wave.
I'm having a thought here. For those who don't have the hearing or have very little hearing, you can still access the energy of that because it has a vibration. So if one of your senses is not as heightened, the other senses take over too. We constantly through these wonderful practices are cultivating an extraordinary sense beyond those five senses. So that was beautiful. Thank you.
Well,
Wow.
and today's show is all about, someone wrote in, and it was one of our fans, and they wrote a private message. They said, what can I do for my 14-year-old son who's been bullied and now changed all his classes
Aw.
and is starting all over, and it's, how many months into school, so a lot of anxiety. And so he was wondering some tools. So today's theme is going to be helping that person. But not only just the 14-year-old, all these tools, whether Lisa gives you a Qigong tip today or an exercise or guides us through something, or even myself, these are all ways to reduce anxieties or to prevent it from even creeping up. So I know in my classes, which all of these ladies have actually been to, and everyone in the audience has been to something of mine, an event or something. One thing that I love to do is mudras, because mudras is just like you do in Qigong. It's all about touching yourself, and all of a sudden we're closing brain circuits. It's like reflexology of the feet, but in the hands, it also resonates with planets and aligning ourselves. So I love this one most of all. So if you all want to just try that. So if you're home, or you're 14 or 44, and you are faced with anxiety and stress just creeps up, and you start to breathe heavier, or you start to get sweaty palms, you're starting to feel the physical manifestations of stress and anxiety, you can do this. So you could just push the pointer finger, which is our Jupiter finger, into the thumb. And you could just relax the hands into your lap. And whenever you do that, just place your hands so they're facing upward. And then we're going to close our eyes, and this is just a simple meditative tool that you can do. And as you close your eyes, again, focus up into that center brow spot, and then just add a little slight pressure of the finger, of the pointer finger into the thumb. And mudras, those are yoga postures of the hands. And then all I want you to do is to take a deep inhale, and we're going to retrain the brain here, and then exhale all that anxiety. And then take another big inhale. And as you inhale, I just want you to pause at the top and think to yourself, this is all I have to do to feel calm. And when you're done repeating that in your mind, go ahead and exhale. And we're going to do this 3 times. So that's the first time. Let's do that again. Inhale deeply. Hold it and think to yourself, this is all I have to do to feel calm. Just push into the pointer finger or thumb. Add a slight pressure. Exhale after you've said it. And let's do that one more time. Exhale when you're done. And just keep feeling the pressure of pushing into the pointer finger and thumb. And just think the word over and over again in your mind like a mantra. Calm, calm, calm. Calm, because you are what you think of, and every thought you think of starts to happen. What we put into the brain begins to happen. So if we're thinking calm, 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 notice the nervous system starts to feel calm. Notice the breathing, just like the sound, starts to reset the brain. And notice how calm you feel. Yeah. Feel that smile across your face. Yes. Everybody feel more calm? Even our producers are ready to fall over there. They feel so calm. So Lisa, would you like to share something if you were helping this 14-year-old boy who has anxiety? What would you like to share today?
Well, Sunny, as you mentioned, you know, the breathing, that's the vehicle. That's the vehicle right there for relaxation. Qigong and Tai Chi have been widely scientifically studied, and there's a study that came out of the Shanghai Medical Institute with anxiety for children. And also there's a wonderful study at the University of Miami Medical School. And what they've done is shown, taking 2 groups of individuals, children that have ADD or anxiety issues, and a group that does not have that condition, and the results were just amazing. Anxiety levels lessened, aggression levels lessened, the ability to focus increased. So when we're teaching Tai Chi and Qigong to children, it's a little different. Tai Chi is done very slow, so slow that it's like, well, what am I doing? Why am I? The mind can wander. But for a younger individual, we want to be a little more yang in nature, a little more faster or more intent, more muscular effort. So if we were to take, and this can be done, it's ageless, any age, any condition. So if we were to take our hands in this position, so you're saying hello. For those of you who were just listening to us, what we're doing is having our palms facing forward, but our elbows are pulled back to our sides. So let's take slowly a breath in. And before we do that, your lungs are going to be the organ that we're going to focus on, because that's where we store grief and we store anger in the liver as well. But we're going to focus on the lungs. Inhale and pull your elbows back and feel your chest opening. Now as we exhale, I want you to bend the mudras. Here's a mudra posture. The pinky, ring finger, and middle finger, so that your index finger is facing up to the ceiling, your thumb is open. On the exhale, I want you to imagine you're pushing a mountain. There's an isotonic going on here. You're tight internally. Now push through the palm of your hand. So keep pushing both. Yes. And now round your back. Feel your back rounding like a cat. Okay. Inhale, draw the hands back soft, yin, very yin, yin, yin. You can't grab a water. Now, we're sitting side by side, but on this one, see if you can get your arms to go out. Exhale. Push your arms straight out to the sides. Yes. And try not to lock those elbows. Inhale, bend the elbows back. Exhale, push them in back of you. Keep your arms close to your body and just push in back. Good. And relax. It's very important that you make this mudra. You can feel the tension in your arms, but that
the fingers
energy,
too.
yes, that's important. Now, there's one other thing. We would do this standing. So I want to demonstrate something standing. I'm going to let's see if we can do this. You can stay seated or standing. For the viewers at home and the listeners, if you can stand, I'd like you to stand up. I'm going to demonstrate for you from my standing position as best as possible. And this is called lymphatic drainage, okay? The only thing that moves lymph fluid is movement and massage that I know of. So what we're going to do, and this is so playful, children know what to do to heal themselves. In fact, walking backwards, skipping backwards, great exercise to do. We receive more energy when we walk back. Can you take your arms and just swing them playfully back and forth, all the way up as much as you can? You shouldn't feel any pain in your shoulders. It's so playful. In fact, the less effort, the better the gain. It's like you're shaking off tension. Right out your fingertips. I know this might seem rather odd, but when we add the rocking of the feet back and forth, toes are up, arms go back, heels up, arms up. Now we are stimulating all the lymph nodes wherever we have them. It's playful. Kids enjoy doing this, and they don't realize the benefit is incredible for the mind, for releasing that anxiety and stress and tension. It's very playful. Now just take your hips and swing them side to side. Let your arms just fall where they may. Yes. Moving those hips side to side. This will help improve your golf game as well. But little movements
if you're 14,
like this,
you're a golfer.
Right? So a little hip swing, swinging up and down with the arms, and then adding on that energy of pushing, like I'm pushing a mountain. Inhale, and then again, you would be sitting on a horse, so to speak. Yes. And there you have it. Obviously, we'd go into more detail in a private lesson or a class structure, but there you have it.
And how long would someone do that for?
A typical class for let's say a 14-year-old or a group
Like
of
say he's stressed out in the middle of the day and he runs to the bathroom and he's hanging out in the bathroom because he just got bullied and he doesn't know what to do. So let's say he's in the bathroom and he's just like standing there doing that. How long should he do
60
it?
seconds.
60 seconds.
60 seconds. How many breaths does it take to calm down and bring oxygen to the brain?
Right, like 10 good breaths, you're there.
Exactly. Just start with one good breath. That's a good question. 2 minutes can make a big difference.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Absolutely. In bringing more oxygen.
Instead of being like, I know my son gets a lot of like pent up energy and he's 10 and then he's like fist and he's like, oh, I just want to punch somebody, which of course is okay, but not really punch a person, maybe a pillow or something, right?
Well, that's why
punching
karate and kung fu is done when you're younger, so you can get that aggression out there, and that's healthy. That's a healthy emotion. We just have to channel that correctly. When you get older, Tai Chi is slow, you slow it down, but when you're young, you've got to get that yang energy out in a very safe and productive way.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. And also one more thing.
Yes, please share.
Tarzan, before he swings from the vine, what does he do? It goes like this. Courage. So it's good to just tap on those lungs.
I used to do that when I saw the show. I was like, I want to be Tarzan.
Not Jane.
No, I want to be Tarzan. I was like Tarzan. Nice. Well, in Kundalini, a lot of times I make fists, and then we'll start to punch our stomach.
Yes,
and it really breaks up all that energy because we're like, oh, I'm so angry about something, right? And when you do it for 3 minutes with your eyes closed, it's like a new stomach. You really let it go. Yeah, so if you're a parent at home and you want to share some of these very simple tools with your children at any age, especially hormonal ages such as 11 through teenage years, right? It's happening younger and younger. Stephanie or Danielle, do you have any tips that maybe you would love to share for this 14-year-old?
Yeah, I would, coming from the perspective of the soul, I would want this young man to know that we are so glad he's here on the earth, that he is a valuable soul, that he is bringing gifts that are maybe already obvious and more to come. And so sometimes you can be a very sensitive and tender soul and be more vulnerable and susceptible to bullying, as you mentioned. And that has nothing to do with who he is at his essence.
Nice.
It's about what's going on with other people choosing to be unkind. So I would want him to know that he's valued and loved and cherished.
Nice. I like that. And would you give any certain affirmation for him to feel better? Something like, say, something just happened, something he could just sit there and think at his desk. You know?
For me, what works when something comes from the external and I need to sort out what my part of it is and isn't, I say something like, with my eyes closed, a mantra like, this is not about me. I am whole and I am full. Something like that repeatedly. This is not about me. I am whole, I am full.
Let's all do that. Can you guide us through that 3 times?
Sure. Deep breath in. And whether you say it to yourself silently or out loud, this is not about me. I am whole. I am full.
This is not about me.
And again, in with a breath. This is not about me.
This is not about me.
I am whole.
I am whole.
I am full.
I am full.
And one more time with a breath in. This is not about me.
This is not about me.
I am whole. I am full.
I am full. Nice.
So oftentimes then our thoughts are not us. Those thoughts, I heard a percentage, I want to say 80% of our self-talk is negative. So
Yeah,
we
whose
are not
voice
our
are you
thou-
listening
But
to?
we are our thoughts, but yet we're not. So
Well,
it's like a boomerang.
Yeah, I don't think of us as our thoughts. I think of us as the observer
The
of our
observer,
thoughts.
that's what meditation does. It helps you
Yeah,
observe.
that's
Yes,
what
right.
meditative
yes.
yeah.
And that's why meditation can be so powerful for this 14-year-old. Like, what better time to learn about it? And then as the parents looking for tools to help this child, next thing you know, they're all learning. And next thing you know, they want to do it together. And, they say the family that stays together, the family that prays together stays together. Well, it's the same with meditation.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Sure.
Danielle, do you have anything you'd love to add for this?
I do. I've been thinking
soul.
about this 14-year-old since we started talking about him yesterday. And really thinking about when I was 14 years old, and remembering, myself being bullied. I think bullying's kind of taken on a whole new level of life with media and so many different outlets, to kind of show how it can be done. But I remember telling my children a long time ago, because I had such a great teacher in my life when I was a kid. My grandfather was like everything to me. And one day, the thing he loved doing was taking me to the airport. So we'd go to the park, to the end of the park, and then you see all the planes. And I was really upset about something one day because some kid said something to me, and I was distraught over what was said. And my grandfather looked at me and he said, "Well, is that true about you?" I said, "No." And he said, "Well, let me tell you something. You can either believe or not believe what people tell you." And he said, "Look up at the planes." He said, "The job of the air traffic controller is to either divert planes, land planes, let planes go, have them circle, right?" He said, so if a thought or an emotion or somebody's words come in, he said, you can have it come through and you can have it keep going. Now, if it's something true, then it can land in the heart and the soul, and then you can kind of dissect it, right? He said, but if it's not true and it's not the truth of who you are, then allow the plane to go to Minnesota, right? I'll never forget that. I don't know how I came up with Minnesota because I was living in California at the time. But I just thought that was such a great analogy because he was so good at analogies. And the one thing that I encourage this 14-year-old or anybody that's going through it, and even adults or anybody that's going through that time in their life where somebody says something and it really lands with them in a way that it alters, or they start making up a story in their head because of something somebody else said, right? And I would just encourage them to take a look at that, and is it true, is it not? Because the one thing that you have control over is your thoughts, and is it true or is it not true, right? And so the other thing in conjunction with that is that, we know that saying that our body is our temple, right? And my grandfather said to me, every time you go to a temple, I don't care what temple it is, but it's always well manicured. It's always beautiful. It's always taken care of. And he said, your body and your mind is your temple. How are you taking care of it? Right? So the thoughts that you're thinking, are you taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? So I would say to the 14-year-old or to anyone, how are you nourishing yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? Are you manicuring yourself? Are you really noticing what a gift that you are? Or are you allowing other people to tell you who you are?
Right. Which I think definitely happens when they're at this age. So that's a really good message. Maybe you should share that with more teenagers.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
And the tools are the most important thing. A 14-year-old or a 10-year-old might not know.
Yeah. Right, and yet it's so simple. Yeah. And sometimes parents don't know because they don't even tell their parents.
So the education, that's what we're here for.
Yeah. And the thing for me too growing up is that I didn't want anybody else to define who I was. I wanted to define who I was because I knew internally who that person was. I just need to keep growing it and keep expanding it and keep searching. I was always in the question of teachers, of adults, of anybody around me, which I think is so important for anyone, is that, kids too look at, different athletes as their role models. And I would encourage anyone, if you're going to find a role model, find someone that really speaks the truth. That what they say is what they do, that it's not about the money that they make or about the stuff that they have, because in an instant, that can all be gone.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely. Yes. Yeah. And the things that matter, we can't put a price tag on, right?
Yeah. That is true.
That's what we were saying, that you were at some place in Boca, and there was all these women who looked fabulous, like all Boca women do, and they had their eyes done or this done or that done, but on the inside, Lisa could ever hear the conversations that it didn't sound like they felt so pretty or loved on the inside. Yeah. And that's what this show's all about. That's what we do. We clean up the insides, the four of us, and help you on your journey.
I think it's important to know, though, too, that even though might be alone physically, or that 14-year-old child is alone, literally alone in a room by him or herself. But they're not alone. I think it's so important that an individual realizes, as much as they might be alone and feeling lonely, they're never alone. That there's some greater power, the soul. You don't have to be religious. This is just to, even if you just go through the motions, I'm thinking that if a child said, I'm not alone, I'm not alone. I might feel alone, but I'm not alone because mommy told me I'm not alone. And just breathe through that. I think that's important too, for young children to know that they're not alone. I felt that way that night. How can you be in a room of 1,000 people and feel alone?
We've all had that feeling.
Yes, and it's okay. They need to be validated. Yes, it is a joy to have you both on the show here. We want to hear more about.
Well, we're going to hear all from them and hear about them and what they're doing and making the world a better place. We're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, you'll hear from Stephanie and Danielle.
Yay. Stay tuned.
I think you might.
Yeah.
am Sunny, the founder of Feel Great Meditate. Welcome back to our show, the Feel Great Meditate Show, a conscious living show. We are here with Stephanie, Danielle, and Sarah. Yay! Our wonderful Sarah, who comes to many events, and Lisa. We have with us for Double Fisted now, we got some shots here from Juice Buzz, which is Delray Beach's first dedicated juice and smoothie bar. So we're about to try this organic roots. It's more beets and carrots. They both have ginger. They're one of the first dedicated juice presses, cold press smoothie bar with the acai bowls. Am I saying it right? Acai bowls and smoothies. So they blessed us today with their amazing deliciousness.
Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to do a toast in good health.
Yes.
If you come down to the studio audience, you may get some.
And to the 14-year-old.
And to the 14-year-old.
He finds his joy and his love and in peace.
And support.
Nice.
Support, absolutely.
Nice.
Yes.
Tangy. Fresh.
That's good.
Yeah.
Fresh.
It's just so real.
And they're at
Organic in
6
nature.
Northeast 5th Avenue. They're like on that little side street by the popcorn store.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you can park right around there. It's right downtown. You can find them at juicebuzzdelray.com. So if you want to order online and you want to try this right now, go to juicebuzzdelray.com.
It's amazing.
And you can also follow them on Twitter at juicebuzzdelray.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been going there a lot now. They were one of our
You have a
sponsors
glow.
for the Elev8te parties. I have a glow. That's what happens. We
It's
start to
from
eat healthier.
Yeah.
We will be glowing. Yes,
You
yes.
do feel good drinking really healthy
There's
juices
so many
like this.
benefits.
Yeah.
And they also have wheatgrass there, which I used to press my own when I had my yoga studio. And you could bathe in it, but you'd be pressing all day long. But it's good to gargle if you got mouth issues. And it's just like putting live oxygenated cells right into your body. So a lot of people with cancer try that and do the green and juicing diet. Speaking of cancer, we have a guest today. Her name is Sarah, and she's been coming to our full moon meditations, which are the best times to amplify our thoughts and meditate and plant those seeds. And Sarah's been thinking about healing because she has a story to share with you. How about Sarah? Would you like to
Hi,
share a little
everyone. Yeah,
bit?
thank you, Sunny, and all these beautiful ladies. I was diagnosed 2 years ago with stage 4 breast cancer, and I've always been a positive person, I thought. And I moved from Hawaii to Florida, and I got a random email, and it was about Sunny. And I was like, this seems interesting. And it was a full moon meditation. And I decided to go. I brought one of my neighbors with me, and I was going regardless. I just felt it was right. It was the right thing to do. So I went, and it was beautiful. And I have been hanging around Sunny and all these beautiful women ever since. I have to tell you that it's a beautiful journey, and what it does to you, it can be so simple. Just what we were doing earlier with the breathing. And Sunny will make you forget about all that talk, all that just not good talk. And what we do is that we fill it in with the positive affirmations, mantras, all that kind of stuff. And we make that a way of life, and we heal ourselves that way. I had a great PET scan last time, and I believe it was from mentally, physically, just treating. We can heal our bodies. And I think that if we just listen to ourselves, listen to these wonderful teachers, everybody has something to offer you, and it doesn't have to be expensive or anything. It can just be about breathing. It can be about being positive, seeing yourself in that light where you want to be. No matter if it's depression, you can talk yourself into being, again, who you really want to be. Who are you to be on this earth? And you can be. She'll help you shine through, and you're going to just feel great.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
gonna feel
Thank
wonderful.
you.
And where
Thank
are you
you.
now with your healing?
I'm getting there. Couple step backs, but we're, And I think the other thing too is you can take a different maybe formula okay, if this isn't working, then we can maybe add something like sound healing, movements that just are good for you. And it's all about this beautiful energy and you'll feel their energy. I mean, it's beautiful, and it's soothing, and it's loving, and it's comforting. And I just recommend everybody just trying to get in touch with this, because it'll change your life.
Oh, thank you.
The first time I met
sharing.
Sarah was at the mansion.
Yes,
and I
the mansion.
see Sunny. I see you laying there on your back, and I turn around and I see that Sunny's got her bowl. Was it the bowl that you
big
put on
brass one,
the big
yeah.
brass bowl
Yes.
on your belly?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, what is going on here? I'm new to this as well. You know, I just moved here from Boston in May, and I have seen such changes in you, in your energy level, in you're not. Since I've known you, it's like you've gone from surviving to thriving. You have such an energy and vitality about you. So on many levels we can healing and curing are two different things. So you are a true testimonial to these wonderful practices.
Yeah.
So
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
prayers to you.
Yeah.
And we're helping other people who are also experiencing the same outcome, having a doctor say, this is what's happening to your cells. And I'll be at the med spa, which I told you, Brazilian med spa. Lisa's going to actually be there as well, doing Tai Chi Qigong and energy stuff. And we'll be seeing people at Brazilian med spa. It's like 101 Real South Plaza down in Royal Palm Plaza, and Dr. Brasilia will be doing like the acupuncture, and that she does the immunotherapy to help cancer patients that are doing chemo and radiation, and even MS, all kinds of diseases. And then I'm doing the sound waves, because the sound waves raises
so
the
necessary.
vibration of every
That's
cell. We
great
want
fit.
to nurse it back to wellness, oxygen therapy, so we can create an alkaline body so cancer cannot exist, because that exists in an acidic body. And then we've also teamed up with mental health, Dr. Diane Abdo, and then we got the physician, we got the acupuncture, we got Chinese healing arts, we got the mind stuff, we got all the mind care stuff for coping, we got the food coaches, we're like assembling the whole team. There's a dentist who removes the metals, because they say you have to get the metals out before you do the immunotherapy. This is all about removing the toxins, removing the metals, and not just physically, but also working on a deep emotional and cellular level as well. So
It does take a village, doesn't it?
it does. It does. It's good to get a little bit from everybody. And we're going to talk to Stephanie now. So thank you for your testimonial. Stephanie is an intuitive channeler, and I met her at the Red Tent, which I heard is moving now across the street here at the heart of Del Rey, right on Federal Highway. You'll see the pink curtains across the street. And tell me, what does it mean to be an intuitive channeler? Tell our audience.
Sure, I'd love to. So to me, what it means is that I am a vessel to receive messages for my clients, for whomever I'm working with. So based on what a client asks about or what they share is on their heart, they tell me a little bit about it, and I do what is necessary to clear out my own filters so that I can bring forward messages from spirit, messages from their higher self, which is their own soul's perspective, which is so fun. Imagine hearing from your own soul. Is there anything more fun than that? I don't know what it would be. And any guidance as well. So I believe we're surrounded by an energetic support system. I call them our guides. I believe we have guides for a vast many purposes. And they're always around us. And when we communicate with them, they are able to support us better in our journey. And so I am just a vessel for that communication to flow through easily.
Nice. And I had such a blast because it was fun, just like she said. I went to an event she had, the Red Tent. There's a whole room full of ladies, and we get to all hear each other's questions, and then she's channeling the answer. And I actually had asked her about I said evil at the time, I said evil biological mother, who I never heard from, and she abandoned our family at age 10, and then I heard that she passed away. And then I asked Stephanie, so what do you know about my evil biological mother? And then Stephanie was like this.
Oh dear.
She's standing like this. And you said very clearly, just like, just came out. And she said something about, I'm a little surprised that you feel I'm evil, but it could appear that way, and I'm sorry if it did. And if it's an apology you want, it's an apology you'll get. I'll never forget that. I'll always remember that. And then you said something about, and that guitar, it took a lot of work for your mom to get that guitar in your hands. And the guitar was her guitar that now magically manifested into my world several months later after this funeral. And she knew nothing about me except for that I taught yoga. That's all she knew. And she's like, I'm like, oh, she's good. She's good. And everyone else who was in the room was like, whoa, that's like spot on. That's about my husband, or that was my husband that passed. And so it was very beautiful because we're all the mirror of each other. And so we're all like picking up bits and pieces. And it was very cool.
So you just channeled. You were not, you were saying those things. Were you hearing her mother in you, or how does that work?
I say it's sort of like hearing, but it's not through sound waves, obviously. But yeah, there is a sense for the messages are coming through, and I'm just speaking them. So I'm kind of lending my vocal cords, my mouth, to bring the messages forward. But we are all channels, all of us. We're channeling all of the time. This is just the way that I vibe with it. This is what works for me. I have studied, a certain way of approaching it, but you're channeling all the time. We're always receiving divine messages from source energy.
And I get channeled all the time when I'm reading or writing, and then also when I'm on the computer. And then now the latest thing is, which I was just telling Stephanie, who I haven't seen for a very long time, I said, you're not going to believe this. That guitar that I didn't want to play and I didn't want to have anything to do with, I started to play. And there's a lot of stuff, that goes around that because I was scarred as a child at age 6. I remember specifically that very moment that lasted like 2 weeks in time, or maybe a lifetime, of putting those feelings under the rug. And so when I saw her that night, it was like confirmation,
Wow. Healing.
and tons of healing just by getting the answers. So I was very impressed. Yeah, there was one of our neighbors went too, and I was like, oh wait, I know your husband, before he went to the great beyond. So that was kind of cool. Our neighbor, Barbara. And so anyways, I told her last night, Stephanie, that I'm playing the guitar. And I thought it was the omen, and I don't even know how to play. But next thing you know, I'm getting songs.
I've heard you play,
and
you're wonderful.
It's just happening.
It's a form of channeling.
Stephanie said, "Bring it today," and so I did. Of course, I just dropped it, so I don't know how in tune it is because I just dropped it in the hallway. But I don't know if it was assigned to play it today or not. But I felt like, whoa, what is this? And it's a song, because I usually do mantras. It's a song of her words. And she's finally asking for forgiveness through the song. And so beautiful. It's her verse being channeled through me, and then I'm saying to her, I forgive you. So maybe if there's time, we'll do it at the end.
That would be lovely.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. So tell us about this new book. Do you have a copy of this book today to share?
Yes, I did self-publish this in April.
Awesome. Congrats.
Thank you. It's called Joining Joni, Staying Connected to Your Loved One Through Dementia and Beyond. It's about my journey with my mom through her dementia. It really was an awakening of my own spiritual connection and gifts, and so, but it's a very practical guide for how to support.
That's wonderful.
Anybody.
That's a necessary book.
Yeah,
so
dementia is affecting a lot of people.
Right.
So there's some spirit in there, and there's lots of practical stuff in there, and humor. Because we take ourselves too seriously.
Where can we purchase that book?
This is on Amazon.
Okay.
And there's also an Audible version that I recorded. That was fun.
There's an audio version?
Yeah.
And where would they find you? So the listeners, where's your website
So www.stephanielevinston.com is my website, and all the information's on there.
Nice. And I know that you also don't you do a phone group, like monthly?
Yeah. Most of my work in terms of my channeling and my spiritual coaching is on the phone. So most of my clients just call in from around the globe, and I record the session on a conference line so they can listen to into the wisdom.
That's
there's
beautiful.
layers and
Nice.
layers.
The world
that
is
come
our
through
neighbor.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful.
We're living in an exciting digital age.
So anyone can get a hold of you anywhere in the world. Just go to your
Yes,
website,
exactly.
StephanieLevingston.com.
You got it.
Nice.
Thank
And
you.
tell me, is there more books coming?
Yes, of course.
And yes, yes.
Yeah, what I'm working on right now is from the hundreds of channeling sessions that I've done, I'm pulling out the wisdom and putting those into a book because, as you said, we're so interconnected that your message is not just for you. It relates to you and me and all of us. So I felt like a book of channeled messages was going to support a lot of people.
Nice. Awesome. And is there anything else like you'd like to tell us, or what somebody would get when they're calling in for a channeling session?
Yeah, anything goes. I come as a clean slate, so if there is something you've been having, we can tune right into that and move the energy for you so that you can have clarity around it. I love to channel for parents, bring forward the higher self, their child's soul essence.
Yes.
We can channel those who have transition, but most of the channeling that I do is souls who are still on the earth here.
Nice.
So,
Okay, good to
yeah,
know. So
yeah.
whether somebody's passed, you want to find out some answers, you can do that, or something that's already here on earth.
Exactly.
Both parents are alive.
Exactly.
Or any soul. It could
Yes,
be like
any
a past
soul
lover.
you want. We can channel your cat Fluffy. We can channel anything.
Nice.
Yes.
So pets too. Everybody here in Yoga loves pets. Yes.
Stephanie's
yes.
website is just beautiful. So go to all of you viewers out there. Go to her website, and you will get a clearer idea of what she's talking about. She's been on radio shows, and you have a little clip about what you were just mentioned about channel. And I just forgot in that moment. I forgot to take my memory pills. But it's a wonderful way, right? Yeah, it's a lovely, lovely website. A lot of information is out there for everyone to see.
Yeah, I really liked it too. So check it out.
Thank you.
So tell the audience, is there anything that maybe you did to meditate, or when you found your gifts, or like something that led you to more awareness?
Meditation is essential, yes, which is why I love attending your workshops and your meditations when I can, but it really also has to be daily. Because every single day we are really accosted with all sorts of things from all directions. And I call it an assault on the senses. It might be visual, it might be auditory, it might be our own thoughts infringing on us and getting in the way. So that meditation that you offer is absolutely foundational to being able to connect to spirit.
So are you sitting in a lotus position? Are you in movement? Are you just being mindful? Could you sit at a red light and call that meditation if you're being aware of in that moment? You have a little practices, like specific
I do.
postures and mudras and
I do, and I would love to say that I'm consistent, but I'm not going to lie here. I do as much as I can given the days that I have and the time that I perceive that I have. But yes, it can be at a stoplight, and that's mindfulness.
That's what I'm
and
asking,
just
because I do that
focusing.
too.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be validated.
Yeah, I
Yes.
chant the whole way here.
Yes,
I know you do. I love it.
She in the
Gets me
car.
calm.
She's driving. I'm chanting the whole way there. Join me.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Stephanie, and congrats on your book. And
Thanks.
thank you for sharing. And now we're going to hear from Danielle, who is a Feng Shui master and a medical intuitive, and also very intuitive and a speaker and helping people. Tell us a little bit about what you're offering now.
So now I've actually moved into more of teaching, and I think it's something that the universe has wanted me to do for a really long time, and I've just been resistant.
What type of teaching?
I'm a
Is it
little
teaching
stubborn.
feng shui or?
I teach feng shui. I teach retreats. You know, my whole life from the age 7 of figuring out that I was clairvoyant and realizing that everybody else around me wasn't. That was kind of interesting. But
Wait, how long did it take before you
we're all
realized
on
no
that.
one else could see it?
I think around like 7, 8 years old. Like I would see things. I would see like people from the other side, and I'm like, how do you not see Fluffy? It's right there. Right? And people are looking at me like, you're crazy. I'm like, okay, maybe not something we share outside of ourselves, right? So we had that, and then just being like a medical intuitive and a medium and feng shui. I mean, it's like I have this big kind of suitcase, right, full of all the stuff that I've learned, and kind of been born with. And I always tell people that, you went to school and learned X, Y, and Z. This is kind of what I've learned, right? So it's so for me, yes, I do readings and I coach and I kind of do all that kind of thing. But the thing I love to do more than anything is teach, because my goal really is to empower the other person to bring out the skills or the awareness that I know they already have. They just can't see it in the moment, right? Because I don't, like you, Lisa, or Stephanie, sorry. Where I got Lisa, I don't know. Sorry.
You got it. Just keep
going down, right? Is that I think we're all born with the same gifts. It's just a matter of what you really tap into and what you want to know more about. So
and you bring that out.
Yeah,
you're able to do
so I'm doing a feng shui workshop. That'll be January 14th here in Boca, and I'll have the address and all that on my website. And then I'm doing a retreat February 9th, 10th, and 11th. And
where's that at?
That's going to be in Boca Raton also.
Okay.
I'll have that on there. And it's really about, this will be a fun retreat, but it's really about, I love Disney. I'm a December baby. My son's a December baby. Walt Disney was a December baby. So I love the fact that he was so creative, right? But I love the magic kind of behind Disney. And so I started writing a book, which I was told by somebody to do as well. And I'm in resistance of that too, but whatever. But it's really about the fairy tales that we live, right? Or the stories we tell ourselves as girls, right? And then when our life doesn't turn out into that beautiful fairy tale and the horse doesn't come with the magical guy who's going to save us, right? Then what happens to our life? So it's really breaking down the conversation, the fairy tale, and what is your life and who are you, just based on you. If I took all the titles away from you, if I stripped you into nothing and it's just you, then who are you? Which I think is a great conversation to have. And I think, women, I think we're just we judge ourselves so harshly. Is our makeup perfect? Is our hair perfect? Does our family look good? If we're on Facebook, is the post perfect? You know what I mean? Like it's
too much pressure.
Right. It's too much. It's just too much work, right? And I think the older I get, I'm like, it's just I can't be bothered. Like
I know hair and makeup is my least favorite thing to do.
Yeah,
I'd rather just be like, let's breathe, let's do yoga. Oh no, I do my hair and makeup. Yeah.
So for me, it's always been about energy. And so, in terms of feng shui, at the end of this year, come February, it's usually every February, but this year happened to be January when the Chinese New Year shifted. But then you have a new sign, you have a new element, you have a new everything. So then certain things get to be put into your home when it comes to the head of the home, to everybody that's in the home. So I support, like my children are represented in my home in the areas of where they go. In terms of like if your kids are in school or if you want higher learning for them, you can place certain things in the home for that. But it's really businesses, when businesses aren't doing well, it's amazing how I can walk into someone's home and I can find out if there's things going on that shouldn't be going on.
Huge.
Or, that there's lack of communication, or if the business isn't doing well, it's easy for me to walk in and I can see why, and we shift some things around, and it's amazing how things will turn around.
So feng shui, those words, water and can you explain wind and water, what that means? It's a Chinese words for wind.
So if you've ever seen, my favorite is when you go to the beach, right, and you see the birds flying over the ocean, and they have their wings are expanded, right, and people think that they're kind of working to stay in that vibration, right? And really what they're doing is they're flowing on the vibration, right? So it's not that they're working to get somewhere, they're just in the pocket and it's flowing, right? And then with water is the biggest mass of what's on the planet, right? Because the earth and the human body is made up mostly of water. So it's really the energy and how things flow, of how things flow, right? So that's why the Chinese really focus on wind and water. We focus on elements. If there's too much of an element or not enough, it will either, my job is either to suppress if there's too much, or so if you have a child who is struggling in school, I can normally walk into the child's room and I can tell you why they're struggling. If somebody's dealing with illnesses, at times I can walk into somebody's house and they may be actually sleeping in their illness star and they have no idea. But year after year it changes. So I'll have people say to me, oh, I feng shuied my home 5 years ago. And I'm like, well, that's great, but that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, things change.
Things change. So just as your body changes every year and everything about your life changes, right? So does astrology.
And so could somebody call you and then you go to their house like a private session, or how does that work?
Yeah, I either go to the house or their business, and and then again, it's I get really deep with the people that I work with, right? Because again, it's not so much. It can be like what people see on the outside, right? So it's like, again, if I come to your home and I'm looking, and of course, everybody always cleans up their home before I come, right? Because you can't have anything out of place. But then it's like, let's get deeper. If I open drawers in your house, right? What do those look like?
Yeah.
If I'm looking at closets, right? If I'm looking at your garage, if I'm looking at each section, like we were talking about the bagua earlier, but each section of the house represents something.
Yeah.
So if I said to you, if your garage looks like a bomb went off in it, right? And I said, well, that's the money part of your home. Yeah. How fast would you go and clean up your garage?
Right.
Right? So, or kids are like infamous for shoving stuff under their bed, right? Or they make beds now where they have drawers and then they shove all the stuff in the drawers under the bed, right? Energy can't flow if it's stuck there, right? So again, depending on what's happening each sector of the home or the business, energy has to flow. And if it's too complicated or if it's blocked, right, then the energy just stops and it just dissipates. Or my job is to get everything to flow, to open. And it's like unpacking this emotional baggage from most parents or even businesses. Like if I'm moving elements or I'm moving different things, we get attached to our stuff, right? And it's an emotional process.
So where can people find you? Please tell us your website name.
So it's www.createpossibilities.org.
Nice.
It'll actually be up tomorrow because they're in the process right now of updating a bunch of things. So if you can't get on it today, don't panic. It'll be up tomorrow.
Createpossibilities.org. I love it. Thank you. And speaking of good energy flowing, by the way, we have this water.
That's right.
And we're selling it by the case. So if you want to feel super high vibrating, then you could drink this water. Did you girls taste it?
It's great water.
Give one to Sarah. So I harmonized this water before the Elev8te party, and we did the gong and the singing bowls, and we sent good vibrations over it, and it even has an intention, a very high vibrating intention. So just by drinking it, you're going to increase the vibration of every cell in your being. So cheers to that.
Wind and water and birds and
just one announcement on this Sunday, I will be at Sacred Yoga. That's 2882 Federal Highway, Boca Raton. I'm doing a 2.5-hour amazing transformational workshop series that actually starts this Sunday.
Nice.
And then it's the 19th. We skip Thanksgiving. We go December 3rd, the 10th, and then skip Christmas and New Year's, and then one day, January 7th. And all of this, 2.5 hours with me, basically it breaks down to $50 for the whole time. It's $300 for 6
her
weeks.
work is amazing.
Yeah, so if you're looking to transform your life, you're looking for private sessions or you want to do the workshop, go to feelgreatmeditate.com/events and you can get signed up. It's been nice having you, Danielle, Stephanie, Sarah, Lisa. Thank you for joining us today. Satnam.
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Shay Shay.